Today we're going to be doing a follow-up to a couple of portable work table reviews we've done in the past, and we're going to be comparing our Works Pegasus 2-in-1 work table to our Keter Pro Series. Starting with the price, over there on the Works it's going to retail at $149 and it's on sale at certain times throughout the year around $110. Over here on the Keter, it retails for $125 and I saw that one on sale regularly around $100. If you're interested in where they're made, over there on the Works it's made in China, over here on our Keter it's made in Israel. And the last thing before we get these opened up and start going through some of the specs is in regard to the warranty. Over there on the Works it's a 3-year, and over here on the Keter it's a 2-year warranty. As we get these opened up, the first thing you're going to notice is they're very compact when they're collapsed like they are here. And to hold this one here, you have a couple options. You can hold it around here. There's a handle up here. They also do have a handle here that you can hold it. Over here on the work side, you're going to want to hold it down here like this to carry it around. To get these set up, starting with the Keter over here, you're going to notice a couple tabs. So all you need to do is just set it flat, push these tabs out, and they'll snap in place. Just make sure these two cross supports on the side, these plastic things, are pushed all the way out like that. Then take this plastic piece here, and it'll snap in place. And you'll notice this little area up here, there's a thing that says lock. That's when you know you got it in the fully locked position. Then to collapse it, take our handle, push it down, push in both sides. And it'll collapse. And you're going to notice when you collapse this, they're not always going to go in here, these legs. So just make sure you have them fully seated in there. And now you're ready to transport it. Moving on to the Works. First thing, make sure your hand is not in here because you will get it pinched when you open this up. Just extend both sides. And now you're set up. When you want to take it down, just push in both of these on both sides. And likewise over here. Then just simply raise that support down there, and now you're collapsed. Moving on to the weight and some of the dimensions here. Over there on our Works, our weight's going to be 30 pounds. Over here on the Keter side, the manufacturer does say it's 30. However, it did feel a little bit lighter, so I weighed it myself and it came in roughly 23 pounds. I'm not sure if the adjustable leg version, there's a couple different versions of this. Maybe that's a little bit heavier. I'm not sure. As you can see here, I have the regular legs here and not the adjustable one. In regard to the height, over there our Works is going to be a little bit taller. It's going to come in at 32. Over here is 29.9. But if you get the adjustable leg version, you can raise this up a little bit higher. Then in regard to the weight capacity on the top here, over here on our Keter, it's going to be 1,000 pounds. Over there on the Works, the table is rated at 300 pounds, but the sawhorse is going to be rated at 1,000 pounds. So just keep that in mind. You're only going to get that 1,000 capacity over there when you're using the sawhorse, not when you're using the table. Moving on to the work surface, over here on the Keter, you're going to notice you have this little bit bigger platform here, and it is pretty sturdy in regard to holding tools and different material down there. And you're going to notice you have your clamps neatly stored here, so you have one here, and you also have one on the other side. In order to get them attached to your table, you're just going to take this piece here, slide it in place, then you're going to pull your trigger back, and it'll lock in place. And likewise, you can do the same thing on this side. And what this will allow you to do is you can take material here and very easily clamp it in place. And you do also have the ability to use these clamps on the side as well. Like that. So really you have endless options on where you can clamp those. Moving on to the Works over here, you're going to notice you have a couple clamps neatly stored on both sides. So you have one here and you have one on the other side. You also have 4 of these clamping dogs, and I'll show you how those work here in a minute when we get to the top. One comment I want to make down here, I know Works advertises this platform down here where you can store things. I would not store anything on this because as you can see, there's a lot of movement in there, and that's a critical piece in regard to the setup here, and I'm just going to risk breaking that, putting anything on there. Unlike our Keter work table, I think that secondary base was a little bit stronger, where if you need that ability, I would really look over there on the Keter side versus over here. Again, they say you can do it, but you just risk breaking that because that is plastic pivoting on plastic in there. So I'd be very cautious on putting any weight down there. Moving on to the top, we do have a couple more options here on this table versus our Keter. The first thing you're going to notice, you have a ruler mark on both sides there. So if you're looking to get a quick measurement there, you can easily do that. In addition, you have these hole cutouts on both sides where you can put screws and different things in there to keep them neatly stored so they're not rolling off the table. Then the other thing is, and I mentioned this a minute ago, you have these clamping dog holes. So what you can do is you can take these included clamp dogs, and there's 4 of them like I just showed you neatly stored down there. So if you're looking to get material at a certain angle, you can put these in here. And you can use those to clamp different things. You can have your other clamps here and you can tighten different things. So they are useful there in regard to certain applications there. And again, you do get 4 of them included with the table. Then moving on to the clamps, just like you did on the Keter side, you can take the included clamps, pull the trigger, and they'll snap in place. And likewise on this side as well. The one call out here on these clamps real quick, as you can see here on this Works, they are in there pretty loose. When we compare that to our Keter version of there, they don't move like these ones do here. So that is one thing that you're going to notice when you're clamping different material on here. There's going to be a little movement. So with these clamps in these slots on the top, I think this version here is just a little bit sloppier than what our Keter version is over there. But with that said, you still have the option to take the clamp out, and you can simply clamp it on the side as well. So that is an option just like you have on the Keter version. The last thing to call out here is these link connects that are also included, and you got another one on the other side. And what you can do with these is you can link multiple tables together. So if you get a couple of these Works tables, you can use this as a link, and you got endless options at all 4 corners. The only call out there is when you use these, it's not going to be the tightest connection there. As you can see, there's going to be movement, but you can always reinforce it with some clamps, etc. down there as well. But that is a nice feature that they do include with the Works table in regard to linking tables together that the Keter table doesn't have that option. With that said, the Keter does have these included holes on all 4 corners there. So if you did get another table and you wanted to clamp them together, you could very easily put a bolt or a screw or even clamps under here as well to hold them together. It's just nothing included out of the box in order to link 2 together. All right, so what are my final thoughts here? We'll first start with the overall construction. In regard to the stability, it does feel like we have a little bit more movement in our Keter table here. With that said, once you apply some weight up top here, it does help minimize some of that movement. And if we come over here on the Works, you're going to notice this has a lot less back and forth movement. So from a stability standpoint, it does feel like our Works stays in place a little bit better. In regard to that weight capacity of 1,000 pounds over there, or 300 on the table here or 1,000 here, I will be honest, it does feel like our Works is a little bit more stable in regard to the top. Yes, this one is rated a lot more, but that plastic just feels like it almost pivots a lot more, as you can see there, versus what our Works does here. So that is something I would keep in mind. Will that hold 1,000 pounds? Probably if that's what they rated at, but I honestly think that might be pushing it for that table over there. But if you're looking at a plastic work table like these, I doubt you're probably putting 1,000 pounds on there anyways. Moving on to some of the construction on the legs and how they're assembled. The one thing over there on the Keter, yes, it does have aluminum legs, but it's all connected by plastic. So all the critical pieces in regard to how those legs fold in and fold out, it's all plastic. Likewise over here on our Works table, it is all plastic, pivoting all plastic as well. So that is something that, yes, it does have aluminum legs over there, but the critical points on where they're going to, brace against the table, it's all plastic. So I don't think there's one better than the other in regards to the legs. Over here, yes, you do have some of the metal on the outside, which helps it with a little bit of support, but you still just have, the plastic sawhorse legs on there. So that is something to keep in mind in regard to the construction of the legs. The one area I would caution you on the construction, and again, I mentioned it before, this piece down here, and I don't know if you've ever used any plastic sawhorses, you have to be very gentle with those as you open and close those, because over time, those are prone to cracking in those, pivot points, because again, you are pivoting on plastic in there. So that is just something to keep in mind. If you're going to be opening and closing them a lot, especially over here, be very careful down there. Over there, you won't really have that problem in regard to that platform on the bottom. But again, the legs and all those pivot pieces in the middle, I think you'll have probably the same potential problems over there. But if you're not opening these really quickly and slamming them really quickly, if you notice when I opened both of these earlier, I didn't really slam them open or slam them closed, because I have a feeling a lot of the times when these are breaking, people are just opening them or closing them too quick. But again, they are plastic, so you got to be careful. So to wrap things up here, if I had to pick one of these two tables up here, I would probably pick the Works. Not only do you get a couple more options with the bench dog holes here, with these clamping dogs here, you can fold this down. It can be a 2-in-1, it can be a sawhorse or a table. I just feel like the fit and finish is a little bit better over here versus there. And I'll give you some close-up pictures of that Keter. There's just plastic burrs throughout the top there. Versus over here, you don't see any of that. It's more of a smooth look to it, and it looks a little bit more professional. Then the other thing on the top here, these are aluminum slides in here where you can slide those clamps in and out. Those are plastic. Yes, as I mentioned there before, they're a little bit sloppy over here. Versus over here, you can see that that's a little bit more solid. But this is just plastic in here, so I can't think long term that that plastic being scraped back and forth by that metal clamp is going to last that long versus the aluminum. So that is just something I think that one over there, again, is built a little bit better. And you will see there's multiple colors out there of this Keter table. The best I can tell, there's only two different versions. One's adjustable legs and one's not adjustable legs. And with that said, regardless of the color, it looks like they're all assembled. They all have the same fit, finish, and everything. It's really just the difference between the adjustable legs. So I don't think there's any benefit of really going one color versus the other, not unless you're looking for the adjustable legs. So in the end here, I think both of these tables will get the job done. Yes, I do like that Works a little bit better. I think the fit and overall quality and the finish of it, I think is just a little bit better than our Keter. With that said, maybe one of these is on sale, one is full price, or maybe you don't have the need for some of the clamps and the bench dog holes over there, and you're looking more just for a general use table where you have the top and the bottom. I think this is a decent option. Just keep in mind, these are both geared towards homeowner use. Neither one of these are going to be tables you're going to be constantly opening and closing and throwing in the back of a truck, because I think from the fit and finish on the plastic pivoting that I showed you there earlier, I think there's some weak points in there. But if you're not opening and closing it multiple times a day, I think you can get some good use out of this. And especially for the price, I think they're decent tables for what they are in regard to plastic. So hopefully this helped you out if you're in the market for one of these two tables up here. If it did, please give me the thumbs up. If you're interested in more content like this, please hit that subscribe. But again, I hope this helped you out, and thanks for watching.